Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Niger with a Physics Fundamentals screencast. This one's going to be focused on problems that involve distance, displacement, speed, and velocity. All right, so let's start by talking about these four terms. These are all descriptors of motion. All right, and when we talk about the motion of the object, we ask a couple questions like how far, how fast, or slow. And sometimes how long. So in other words, how long will it take us or our object to get where it needs to go? All right. Those descriptors can be broken into distance, displacement, speed, and velocity. There's another one called acceleration, which we'll talk about in a separate video, but that's also a way to describe the motion of an object. All right. So let's start with these four. All right. They can really be broken into two sets, distance and displacement, and then speed and velocity. These two terms, distance and displacement, describe something similar as do speed and velocity, but they fall into two different types of measurements. We have scalar measurements, and scalar measurements are those with a number, only. All right, and that should include a unit. All right, we know that when we make measurements, we need to include a unit. All right, so scalar quantities are those that have a numerical value only. That's only the magnitude of that object or that measurement. The other type of measurement is a vector measurement. All right, and this vector measurement includes the number just like a scalar one does with its unit. All right, but vectors also include the direction of that motion. All right, and that direction can be shown in a couple different ways. We can use the cardinal points of a compass, north, south, east, west, northwest, southeast, etc. We could say forward or backwards. We could say up or down. We could say left, right. We also could use signs. We could use a positive sign to represent a particular direction. Usually we say positive is forward and negative is backwards, or positive is up and negative is down, but we can choose what those signs mean. All right, and that's something you need to do with your class and with your teacher. All right, so for the scalar measurements, we have distance. All right, that is simply how far did the object move. We tend to stick in meters. All right, and if we take that distance and add direction, then it becomes a vector measurement, which we call displacement. All right, so if a car is moving down the highway at 45, if a car moves down the highway 45 meters, its distance traveled is 45 meters. But if it's moving those 45 meters to the north, then we'd say that that object has been displaced 45 meters to the north. So we continue to use the unit plus the direction. All right. When we talk about speed, how fast the object is moving, if we're talking about magnitude only, it is the speed, and we use units of meters per second. All right. If we take that value and add that direction in, it becomes a vector, and then we call it velocity. All right. So velocity is still meters per second, but it includes that directional piece. All right, so formulas are pretty straightforward for this portion. Distance, there isn't really a formula for distance. You just measure the distance. For speed, we tend to talk about the average speed, which is the total distance covered divided by the total time it took you to get there. All right, now again, that's a scalar, so we don't include the direction. All right, if instead we're talking about the average velocity, then we need to know what the displacement was, and that's what this little delta x stands for, the displacement of that object over the amount of time it took to become displaced. All right, if we're going to use the delta x, just remember that delta symbol means change in, so in this case it's change in position, and we always take the final position and subtract the initial, and that will give us our delta x value. Sometimes you're going to be given the delta x directly, other times you may have to find it. Okay, so let's try a couple problems. All right, when I work problems that deal with velocity, distance, and time, or speed, distance, and time, I tend to have a little area off to the side where I put in my variables. All right, for this first problem, we're driving a car with a constant speed of 45 meters per second. All right, so 45 meters per second to the north for a time of 75 minutes. All right, so what distance do we travel? Well, I know that speed is distance over time. And if I rearrange that, I know that distance is speed times time. All right, so I plug in my speed, 45 meters per second, and I go to plug in my time, and I hopefully notice that my units do not match here. All right, so I've got seconds in my speed value, and then I've got minutes for my time. So I need to make a conversion. All right, so remember, if I want to go from minutes to seconds, I need to multiply by 60. So that becomes 4,500 seconds, which means that my speed is, the distance that I'm going to travel over these 75 minutes moving at this speed is 202,500 meters. All right, now the problem doesn't specify that you need to have it in kilometers, so you can leave it in meters. But if you want to put it into kilometers, then you're going to need to divide that number, 202,500, by 1,000, and we find that it's 202.5 kilometers. All right, now the question next is, what is your displacement? Now remember, the difference between displacement and distance is the direction of that travel. So we're traveling down a highway. We're going to make the assumption that it's a straight line because the problem doesn't tell us it's not. So we traveled 202.5 kilometers to the north, according to the problem. That would be our displacement. All right, for our velocity, same idea. We know the speed is 45 meters per second, and the car is traveling in a northward direction. So the velocity is just 45 meters per second to the north. All right, let's slide down to this next one. All right, you are on your way to Long Lake. You drive for 10 minutes at 55 meters per second, then speed up to cover the remaining 3.2 kilometers at 65 meters per second. What was your average speed? All right, so average speed is the total distance you travel divided by the total time it takes you to get there. Whoops, we'll spell there, fix that. All right, so I have two legs to this trip. And if I look for leg number one, all right, if I have my speed, distance, and time, I know the time, 10 minutes, and I know the speed, 55 meters per second, but I don't know the distance. All right, so I'm going to have to find that number before I can calculate the average speed. All right, I'm also going to look at leg number two. All right, so for leg number two, speed, distance, time. All right, I travel 3.2 kilometers at 65 meters per second. So I know the distance this time, but I don't know the time. All right, so I'm going to have to find the distance for leg one and the time for leg two, and then I'm going to be able to find D total and T total. All right, so let's start with our segment one. I need distance, so I rearrange my formula. Distance is speed times time. So I have 55 meters per second. 10 minutes, but I need that in seconds, so 10 times 60, 600 seconds. So the distance that I'm going to cover in that first leg of the trip is 33,000 meters. All right. Now I go over to my second leg. This time I'm looking for time, and time is equal to distance divided by the speed. All right, so 3.2 kilometers. Now I need it in meters because my speed is in meters per second. So I multiply 3.2 times 1,000, and I get 3,200 meters divided by 65 meters per second. All right, and the time that it takes me to travel this leg is 49.2 seconds. All right, so I've got my legs, now my average speed. So my total distance is going to be 33,000 meters plus 3,200 meters for my two legs divided by the total time, which is 600 seconds for leg one and 49.2 seconds for leg two. So I do my addition and I find my total distance was 36,200 meters. and it took me a total time of 649.2 seconds to travel that distance. Do the division, and I find on average my speed was 55.8 meters per second. Okay? All right, last one. Look at this one, has a graph involved. All right, so a person happens to be on a big number line. They start at position 12 meters and move with a constant speed to 3 meters in 15 seconds. What was the velocity? All right, so here I know that velocity is equal to the change in position divided by time. All right, so that means my final position minus my initial position divided by the time it takes me to move. All right, so my initial position is 12 meters and my, whoops, not V, sorry, put X there. My initial position is 12 meters and my final position is 3 meters. So 3 meters minus 12 meters divided by the 15 seconds it took me to walk that is going to give me a velocity value of negative 0.6 meters per second. All right, now you might say, oh no, negative. Remember, a negative sign here just tells us direction. All right, so we're moving backwards, which makes sense because we start at 12 meters and end up at 3. So we've moved towards the origin. So we're moving backwards. All right, so what was the speed of the person? Now remember, speed is the scalar version, so no indication of direction. So we just drop the negative sign and we just say 0.6 meters per second. All right, now make the correct position versus time graph for this action. All right, so for that, we're going to put position, X, on our Y-axis and time in seconds on our X. I'm going to draw a line here. There we go. All right, if I look for my time, I'm going to have 15 seconds. So I'm going to make each one of these 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. All right. And then for my position, I'm going to do the same thing. 4. Wait a minute. Oops. Sorry. 8, 12. Sorry. My answer is in the way here. All right. So at time 0, I start at a position of 12. And then at 15 seconds, which is right here, I end up at 3, which is right about here. All right, so then my position versus time graph should look like this. Okay, and that's it. All right, so again, just using the formulas, learning how to use them, watch those units. They need to match before you can use the formula and plug everything in. Okay?